when a choice must be made. Steeped deep within conversation of unimaginable weight and means, Zuzu would continue speaking with Cyratha along the balconies of the House of Healing. Whilst inside, Ellie would speak with the now more or less recovering Azaezel and cognizant on their journey, what they'd witnessed, and the weight and sorrow they bore for all the vision entailed, for all that they'd seen, regardless of where either had been or were. The end of their brother, Izrafil, as they knew him, and the price paid in more ways than could be described. They would share a tender moment before Zuzu would return, and Skad and Ellie would retreat to gather food. Zuzu, changed, would ask of Azaezel names they could think of for a young boy. Curious, but not questioning, Azaezel would reply with the name Gabriel, a name for one reason or another that held value to them or to their people. Zuzu would muse at the suggestion, as our seekers would culminate to discuss their next steps regarding their adventures, not before gathering Aidan to assist within their decisions. They would find him by Nasarin's now conscious and brimming with tales of the celestial, encounters with the divine. Skad would express his concerns of the activities that possibly belay in the south, the visions of Morian, however long in the past, opening old mortal wounds of his own, buried deep within both physical and mental scars. Ellie would pass her own judgment of concern for her family as well, now seeing with her own eyes Morian's power, even though an echo of the past as it was. Azaezel and Zuzu would identify and call to account the fear fueling both of their choices, and possibly clouding their judgment, warning that moving south would only distract them from their main course which would surely alleviate any happenings, imagined or otherwise, in Minaravan. Treating the cause rather than wasting the precious resource of time on vast and endless symptoms. And despite Aidan's reassurance that he and his house could handle such business in the south, and ushering further the importance of the party's mission eastward, Skad and Ellie would not relent. Aidan would defer to the party to make their own decision, as only they could know and determine their own furtherings. He was not any of their keepers. Skad would attempt to make one final plea to Azazel's empathy. He would beg for the party to turn south, before the room would fall silent in a finality of the decision to come.
Can you, write a book already and just, read it on audiobook so I can just, play it all the time? That'd be great.
You're so sweet. I love you so much. You know what? With your kindness and support, guys, I may get the balls to do it one day.
Yeah.
One day, one day, it's another drop in the well. I'll do it. I promise. One day, when this campaign's over, I will turn it in. I promise you.
Yes.
Promise. Promise. That is indeed where we find ourselves. We are centered in the room of House of Healing. A silence filled the air. The tension obscenely palpable. Aidan kind of watches everyone. No one has seen Skad like this before. It's a genuine disagreement. A genuine desire that's different. Half of whom wish to leave southward, the other half wishing to head towards the Elven lands. The time that is precious to you all. Aidan watches you, Azaezel, knowing that whatever your next words are to Skad, you know where Aidan stands in this. You know that he's promised to do what he can, and is not too concerned about the dealings of the South. He will be a messenger to his uncle. He is confident his uncle can handle this. But he does not wish to steer or stir any of you. He is respectful of everyone's autonomy. You look at each other from across the room, Aidan kind of in the corner watching and observing, or at least off to the side a bit. But Skad and Ellie look across to you, Azaezel, and to you, Zuzu.
Azaezel gives a side eye to Aidan. Azazel's taking in the room and is feeling the tension that Skad's bringing. Azaezel looks over at Zuzu and you can almost register they're kind of forlorn in this moment. It's very subtle, but you know Azaezel at this point, and you can tell Azaezel is about to do something really difficult.
Aidan's gonna roll insight to see if you can pick up on this.
Mm-hmm.
You see a tilt in Aidan's face, like as if he recognizes that something's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. Azaezel gives a glance over at Ellie. And they just stare at her for a moment.
There's a pleading in her eyes, too. It's different from Skad's. Skad seems fueled almost by a passion, a pain. Clearly wounds not healed. Ellie just seems helpless.
I think you and Ellie should go south.
You see Aidan's eyes go to the floor. What? We're in this together. What do you mean?
I think that both of you should handle the cultists. But I cannot follow you.
on, not. Why can't you come with us?
Azaezel kind of swallows. And their face kind of becomes empty for a moment. There's really no expression. There's just nothing there to read. A void. You both have chosen your path. And I respect it. But my path has been laid out for me. And I have to follow mine. I can feel both of yours passion and belief. And I think you both should follow it.
You just see the registration in Ellie's eyes that there's clearly, whether she knows it or not, a decision's been made, that there's no convincing anybody otherwise. And you just kind of see her processing, her eyes kind of going blank as well. You see anger in Scott's face. But he doesn't seem to say anything. Like he wants to, but he won't. Aidan's the first to speak up. I've wondered why, Skad, the Dream Mistress decides to show you your past over and over again. The carnage that you've wrought, from what you've told us. Why do these dreams not change? And Ellie, you've spoken of your first visit to the goddess of death herself, the unburdened soul as a requirement before coming to her. Perhaps there is work to be done there for you both. You are welcome wherever I am. You are welcome in my house, our house, as he looks at Skad. You'll need all the help we can get on the surface. My only concern, looking at Azaezel and Zuzu, this was already a perilous journey with the four of you. Do you have the means and support in the east for what must be done when you go below? He kind of looks at Zuzu, knowing that, you know, your main resources have stemmed from the east. He's asking, will this be enough?
Well, although we may be saying goodbye for now. But yes, we do have friends to the east.
And if your journey proves fruitful in convincing gods, I am sure the aid of any god will be, well, all one can ask for.
Yes, this is quite unfortunate. We have, as I've stated, time is of the essence. I'm sorry that I cannot go with you south. I know where you have ties, family, and Skad, you have pain that needs to, well, hopefully heal from all this. But I hope it doesn't come to a battle. From what you've spoken about, it seems like there's an army or a lower city. But, it's too much to risk. What we're doing is important. What we're doing, well, is important. It's too important to be, well, we need to go east. There is work to be done.
Azazel just gives a knowing nod to Zuzu.
Skad speaks for the first time. I must do this.
And I believe you will. The sands of fate has brought us together before. If we are meant to go underneath, the strands of fate will find a way to bring us together again. I trust in the cycle.
Maybe. Once this is done. We'll be able to join paths again. Hopefully we can convene. And if not, well, work will be done all the same. Ellie seems to kind of break from her stupor, and she crosses the threshold surprisingly quickly. And Azazel, if you allow her, she gives you a hug.
Azazel will hug her.
You can tell she's trying to not cry.
Azazel.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, what were you? You go.
She just whispers kind of brokenly in your ear that this isn't what I want.
Azazel bends down. This is what must be done. And quietly, they say to Ellie, "Don't follow me. You belong here."
I've been sitting here wondering what the Raven Queen meant with the words she said to me. The Queen always spoke in riddles. I've never understood how that hasn't frustrated you beyond all else. Do you think this is what she meant? I can't be unburdened like you. I don't think I ever could.
You forget. It is not that we are unburdened. It is that we bear the burdens. Up here you get to be free. Up here you get to forget. But you, Ellie, are a burden that I am glad to carry with me. And I wish for you to forget me.
I think I ever could. I think I know what you mean.
Azaezel just stares at her. And you can tell that they are, it appears almost in physical pain, being this close to her.
Takes a step back, recognizing that. Aidan kind of looks to all four of you. Well then, I suggest whatever business you want to conclude here, I would do it now. Goodbyes are never easy. Especially when there's much work to be done. And many that depend on us. I have to go south quickly to my uncle. And I have to continue the motions set from our efforts here at the Necromancers. I know there were things you were interested in regarding the Dream Mistress. Understanding that a bit more. The best person to speak to on that matter would be the Keeper of the Faith. If you're dreaming as you say, Zuzu, and discovered much, I would speak with her and see what she has to offer. Whatever I can aid you in before I depart, for your travel to the east, of course, let me know. You have allies here, in Emerjan. You're home, before you yourself went east for much longer. As he kind of lightly smiles at Zuzu.
teleportation circle. I can teleport the three of you, or possibly just Skad and Ellie south, if you don't have the resources to perform such a task. To hasten their efforts.
It's very kind of you. It would be greatly appreciated. But I understand, and we do have the means if otherwise, but could be a nice finality. Final goodbyes. If that is what you wish.
Well, I like to say farewell for now, not goodbye completely. It's just me.
I rather like that as well. Aidan, in this room, even though this room is light and full of warmth and color, it's like the shadows seem to stick to him. As he watches everyone.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah. Are you doing? I will say insight, or I'll take Arcana as well.
Okay.
Give me a perception check. With a 13 Arcana, you recognize the same kind of manifestation. It's not too dissimilar from what happens to you sometimes. It's very faint. And you can surmise that he's been touched by his experience seeing your queen. He's one with the shadows after all up here. It gives an air of the familiar. Zuzu, you do see this. As to what it is, it's you looking at it. There's an extra layer of darkness to him, but it doesn't feel threatening or menacing. It's just different. Oh, I forgot to ask this. Do both of you guys have inspirations?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Zuzu? You have one too?
I don't think so.
Okay, then you can have the one from the recap today. I forgot to disseminate that out. But yeah, Azaezel, you can tell he's been touched by her. In one way or another. Zuzu, again, you can see something's different, but you're not quite sure what it is. I know, Azaezel, that one of the necromancers has been demanding to speak with the one that, well, incited the journey. They're cognizant now. Some have been interviewed and released back. But one has stayed. I wish to talk to you. I told them, at the very least, I'd let you know. But you're under no obligation to.
I will see what this necromancer has to say.
Would you see them alone? Or would you prefer to bring someone with you?
Azaezel looks at Zuzu.
Yes, I would. Yes, you're not at full strength. I would like to at least be there in case he tries anything funny.
We will both go.
I'm gonna stay here with Zuzu and start planning and preparing if it's all the same. I don't know how much help I'd be. Scott just kind of nods in agreement. And Aidan will kind of gesture with his palm in the direction like an after you, his cloak kind of dangling off of his arm in a fluid motion. And as his arms open up like that, both Zuzu and Azaezel, now that you've seen this change in him, it's much more clear as he opens his body up. There's magic there that you can't place.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know?
Roll me an insight. You both can if you'd like.
Okay, I'm ready to do insight, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, poor Zuzu today. Get all the bad rolls out now. Get them all out. Crank them out. Get them out of your system. Zuzu, it's hard to tell. His eyes seem quite focused on the both of you. He doesn't seem to be. It's hard to read as far as if he's registering what's occurring to him or with him. He seems very present with the both of you. Azaezel, you can tell that he feels different, but you can also tell he is not sure. But hasn't questioned it. Or at the very least is trying to hide his curiosity in the moment.
Azaezel walks up towards Aidan, kind of in the direction of like to follow the gesture.
Mm-hmm.
And then takes a moment right in front of Aidan quietly and just looks at him and says, I see how you're different.
His eyebrows very lightly furrow. Not like in a negative way, but more like a curiosity what you said. Again, it's clear he knows he feels different. He doesn't know why, but it's pretty clear also he doesn't see what you guys are seeing. Like he cannot see this magic almost seem to team off of him. He is not a magical person in his own right, which he's mentioned before. He's a man of the sword. He kind of looks at you curiously.
Be careful, Aidan. The shadows are starting to stick to you.
A very light smile pulls at the side of his face. He says quietly in return to you, who's to say they haven't always? But I am curious to your meaning. It seems to hold a different weight and depth from what I mean.
She's touched you.
He takes a breath.
You're not the same man you were before. I would advise you spend some time with yourself.
I have felt changed since. Who wouldn't be changed in the face of a god, let alone the god of death? I did not think I'd be changed forevermore. Perhaps that wasn't something I foresaw. And I don't know what that means. Or what to expect. Do you? Should I be worried?
You should not worry. Worry is a waste of time.
I'm with myself then.
And learn what she gifted you. And Azazel kind of walks on a little bit.
Aidan warmly gestures for Zuzu to continue also with him.
Oh yes, staff forward and stroking his large beard, he follows, gives him a knowing look, but says nothing about it.
From behind, you hear Aidan kind of following, walking with you, and you hear him audibly just to you two, but it's clearly directed at Azazel. Is your goddess always so mysterious?
Always.
I look forward to unraveling it. And I'm grateful for it.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Azazel, that she... It has to be a good thing, right? I mean, why would she... I don't know.
Rarely does she do anything that is good or bad. It's often somewhere in the middle.
Or necessary. Strange. So many new firsts. Between Gale's dreaming, goddess from underneath, taking interest in Gale's. The world is changing. The realm is changing.
It makes me worry how much things have changed down below since I've been there.
How much time do you believe has passed? Does it work the same?
Almighty DM, can you help me math?
No, I got you. For perspective, moments down there, minutes can be weeks, months even. So, you being up here. So, you being up here, Azazel, for as long as you have, how much time has passed? Likely years worth of time down there.
Well, I can't say for certain. But it's probably years have passed down below since I've been here. But exactly how many I do not know.
So you're saying we should, even if we do go down, shouldn't hopefully not be there for too long?
Well,
It's reversed. Sorry, it's reversed in the sense that moments up here are years down there. So, like, if you're down there for a long time, it's, you know, a nascent fraction up here.
Well, I'm
there we go.
old. I'm old.
I got you. So, time is not on your side while you're up here, but when you're down there, weirdly, time is on your side. Everything's slowed down drastically.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah.
Click.
Totally. So when Nasarin went down there and you guys had the vision and she was locked up and you guys saw the chains on her, even though she was only gone for maybe a few minutes, maybe like literally 4 or 5 minutes or so, she was down there for like weeks. And that's what it felt like to her. And so that's why she's so traumatized, is because she went through horrific abuse and horrible things happened to her, but it was just a few minutes up here.
But it was decades down there.
Yeah, but we might be dead by then. So, yeah, so that's how the time dilation works.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's why there's this like spoken like Azazel's really old, because they simply are. That's how time works down there.
So what is the plan? Are we just going to hear this necromancer out? Scare him straight? Or perhaps, your lady has already done that?
Do you ever have those moments where you just need to destroy something?
Zuzu, slides and glides a little bit left.
Lightly floats away, like scooch to the left.
Well, I'm having one of those moments. Frankly, I don't care what this necromancer has to say.
You come into a room that's not too far from where you guys were. They kept the necromancers and you relatively close together to move freely between you. The room seems to have been cleaned and kept. The necromancers that were there, most of them gone, except one. The Maester of Healing is looking over them a final time, it seems, and staying with him. Appears to be a male. He's hunched over. His hair is, even though he's been cleaned and tended to, you can tell there's a disheveledness to him in his stance. His back is to you. Aidan walks in along with you guys. The Maester of Healing straightens up. The necromancer doesn't seem to move. He's ready to go. Oh, sorry.
Azaezel just stands there, quietly staring at the back of the necromancer.
I'll take my leave. Aidan? She takes her cane, her gray hair kind of tied back with her robes, and she moves past all of you down a different corridor.
I'm sorry, who was that?
The Maester of Healing. I'll bring up her. Like, bitch, get your ass back here.
Excuse me?
Motherfucker, we're here now. You fuck. Excuse me. But this is the lady that walked by.
Oh, okay, her, yeah.
Aidan seems to kind of disappear into the shadows. He's still there. More so interested in what's about to happen.
Close
The room is silent. The necromancer doesn't move. He doesn't even seem to notice you in the room, any of you. He's just hunched over. Kind of like when someone's sitting on the edge of the bed and their arms are on their legs, slightly leaning forward.
Zuzu will in a moment go to any of the windows and blinds or anything, curtains, to slowly close them to, I guess, cast more shadow in the room.
He immediately jumps up and starts screaming at you. He just jumps. Keep the light! And he just starts reaching out, like there's fear in his face. As he just goes from 0 to 60 like a madman towards you, Zuzu, at you, trying to keep him in shadow. Demanding the light remain. What do you do?
Is this guy going after Zuzu?
Oh, he's going right. Not like as if he's. I mean, he's going right for him, like he's not to hurt Zuzu. It seems that more he's beelining for the curtains to throw them back open, like screaming at Zuzu, screaming him to keep the light.
Levitate on him. Not on myself. I'm going to cast it on him.
You see Aidan kind of, instead of leaning on the wall, you see him kind of stand upright, watching, engaging himself in case he needs to do something, but not intervening.
Both hands on the staff, and I slam it as it makes a loud ringing noise as I cast levitation on him to keep him up in place. Floating 5 feet off the ground. I hold him up.
You see him struggling against it. You see genuine fear in his face. Clearly he has not slept. This man has aged. He's frantic. He's manic. He stares at the light. He stares at the curtains, and he's repeating over and over, floating in place. The light must remain. No shadow. No darkness. No. No! And he's just fighting the levitation.
It's a DC like 17. I don't know if he wants to.
Ah, yes. Yeah, he fails it. So he's levitating.
He holds him in place and very well, very well. 2 fingers grab onto the curtain and leave a bit of light shining on him. Only him.
He just floats there. He doesn't fight the levitation anymore, as he almost just seems to float in the light. He's calm again now.
Azaezel kind of slithers up to the man floating in the air and just looks at him in the face.
You. There's fear in his eyes, there's anger. A resignation. His eyes are green. Dark circles underneath. Appears to be in his 30s. But severe events and lack of sleep have aged his face. Kind of dark brown hair, tousled, strands of silver in it. Broad-shouldered. He's not a weak-looking man. He is a strong man who has been through a lot.
I heard you wanted to speak with me.
The others wouldn't ask it, but I am not afraid of you. I'm not afraid to ask. They'll go crawling back into their holes. They'll tell the Black Queen what they saw. I just have questions. I don't expect answers.
Speak your questions.
I looked into the face of your cruel god and saw nothing. A hungry maw. Is there truly nothing for us? An endless sea of blackness? A maw that devours all light, all thought, all feeling. Is your god is so cruel to not show mercy to our fear? And the gods have given us nothing to have faith in other ways. No reason to worship, if even our undying love will not grant a fraction of their acceptance.
You defile my queen with your blasphemous magic. And you're angry that she doesn't welcome you with open arms? You spit in her face with every cast you make. And you're upset that when you die, you will be nothing.
None of the gods accept us. They never will. Let alone your queen. Why should we go running into their bosom? What is there for us, if not for us to take our fate into our own hands? If there is nothing to begin with, if they provide nothing as is, then I will spit. If it means I shape my future in what little time I have. You come from a luxury of a god that loves you. We didn't choose that. We didn't choose this. For them to hate us.
Maybe it's because you Gales do not come from a god. That you try to understand them. My goddess does not love me. She doesn't love anything.
Kind of, his eyes flicker over to Zuzu. How long must we pay for the price of our ancestors?
It's crazy for everything you said was completely wrong. You're not a part of any god. But I believe they're slowly opening up to us, our existence. We don't have eternal life, but some of us have piqued their interest. Even I have dreamed. I have been honored being in the presence of a god, sharing, gifting a god something. He returned that gift.
You see
opening up to us.
You see disbelief on his face. Not like he doesn't literally believe you, but more just like a shock. Like a what? A confusion almost of what you're saying. What god was this that so graced you, wizard?
I've been in the presence of Mortana.
The dragon on the desert, the terror of the sun.
So you do know of him. But
Yes. There isn't a girl who doesn't fear him. Will you put me down now?
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's like 2 taps of his staff and the sound from it. As soon as it goes silent, he will slowly, gently touch the ground or back on his bed.
He kind of takes a moment on the bed. You seem to stare blankly at the floor. Back up to all of you.
We broke away from who we were as Gales. We dedicate ourselves to honoring the land we travel on and are allowed to live on. You went about it a different way. But the gods are slowly opening up to us. Gales are starting to dream. There's so much going on. But the path you are on is not the right one. We cannot force. We cannot force it. I guess we have to have a little bit of faith. I guess looks towards the shadows wherever Aidan might be.
Mm-hmm. You see him. It's very, again, almost cat-like and feline in the corner. You see him there, nodding at you in acknowledgement. And there's a slight smile on his face. The man looks up at you. Make me an insight check. You both can.
Damn, it's dark in here.
Man, no! Azaezel, you see a shift in the man's eyes. Zuzu, you can tell your words, whether he wants them to or not, have struck something in him. There's a resistance there, but a seed planted nonetheless. I hope you're right, wizard. I truly do. I guess we'll see who's truly right in the end, won't we?
Well, I know I'm right, but I'm sure. I've spent most of my life in the Elven lands, been accepted by the elves, trained by the elves.
It explains some things, as he looks you up and down.
I lived a whole life of respecting where we walk. That is what I learned from the elves.
The elves who also by all rights hate us. You would throw in your lot with them over your own people.
You're starting to believe that at some point you have to believe that we're all one people. Whether you like it or not. We're all a part of, well, the cycle. The realm is slowly starting to accept us as that. Maybe the gods do not, but the cycle is starting to. And some of the gods are starting to see that. Or else, why am I even be able to dream as a Gale? Why have I been able to travel the Elven lands and been accepted by them? The Dryads, even. And in my travels, being in the presence of a man or a dragon, that people fear, and yet I've been embraced by him. He even kissed my forehead. There are many wonders. I've been through a lot, to be honest. I know that I'm thinking about it. It's quite impressive. But it all comes when one respects the land, the gods, and more importantly, the cycle. And it's hurting right now. I'm dedicating my life to doing what I can, what little time I have to make it a little bit better. Instead of finding ways on how to live longer, finding ways on how to make it better just today, in the moment. Sorry, I'm rambling. Forgive me, I move.
Carrying over your 16, and even with the 12 Azaezel, you can tell the words are registering, like he's taking his time with them. Zuzu, you can tell there's layers you're hitting as his posture's changing. His stare changing with it. There's a softness you haven't seen yet in him. Well, you sound pretty important then, don't you? To whatever's going on. So you say. You got plans to fix all the things wrong with. He kind of swirls his finger around the air. Thus.
So that's what started me down this path. Even though the magic takes from us, I'm choosing to do what I can with what little time I have. And I hope after this incident, maybe you can do the same.
He kind of looks down and back up. Fear may have worked on the others. Not for me. I don't know what you did. But I see sense in your words. For whatever that's worth.
Zuzu just leans on his staff and simply just gives him a smile.
He looks over to Azaezel. You didn't have to answer my questions. Thank you for doing so.
May I ask something in return?
He just kind of looks at you with an acknowledgement, like a clear permission.
The fate that you saw in my queen, that's what awaits you when you die here. Nothing. There will be nothing for you. But based on what you have experienced, you can save that fate from others. The goddess of death is forgiving of many things, but necromancy is not one of them.
I I'm willing to pay that price for what I've done. If I know and you can tell me. He stands up from the bed. And whatever's heart or otherwise is in you, creature of the Underverse. If you can tell me that my sins will be treated with a different kind of mercy than the other gods have of my people, that my wife and children will not succumb to such a fate as mine, simply because of what I've done. Can you tell me that?
In this I can bring you no peace. I cannot say what my goddess will do or will not do. She might very well give your family the same fate she gives you. I do not pretend to know her choices and path. But she might be forgiving based on what you do after this time.
If there is a nascent fraction of hope that my assisting in bringing the downfall of the Black Queen will absolve my family. And he looks over at Aidan. Then I'll do it. He kind of sits wearily on the bed. Leave me, please.
Azaezel will slowly walk back.
Aidan will stand there until the room is cleared. What do you do, Zuzu?
I hope your path changes today. I believe it's never too late. Good day. Yeah, Mrs. O'Leary.
You feel Aidan's presence behind you as you all clear the room. He walks alongside you. It's silent for a little bit. His name is Dovian. He'll just walk silently next to you guys, unless you have anything else to say to each other or to him.
What will become of him?
He will be free. As promised. He'll be free to do what he likes. The rest of his fate's up to him. They kept their end of the bargain. And then I've kept mine. Aidan will return you to your rooms. Is there anything you'd like to do with your day, or we can expedite to night if you'd like?
I'm cool with expediting.
Yeah. For the most part, Zuzu just goes over his notes. Yeah. He does seem more cheerful than he usually is. Yeah.
See if Aidan notices that. He does not seem to at the moment. I was just rolling to see if Aidan would notice the cheerful demeanor of Zuzu change, but he does not notice. He doesn't seem to notice. His mind seems to be elsewhere.
For a hot second, I thought it was like roll initiative, and I'm like, what?
Like, oh shit! Suddenly, Aidan's sister comes out
Ah, fuck.
with a fucking dagger, killing y'all. Skad and Ellie are dead in their bed. There's blood everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god! Shit. Before parting ways with you guys, Aidan will ask you, Shall I let the Keeper of Faith know to expect you tomorrow? Or is that not something you're interested in doing?
Yes, I would very much like to speak to her. Or him.
Her. You've met her before. A pleasant. Most pleasant out of all of us, I'd argue. But I know it was something that mattered, I think, to some of you. And she prefers to know when people are coming. At least people such as yourselves. The door is always open for the need, but something like this, I think she'll want to prepare for.
Oh yes, tell her even that a gale has dreamed, and that might pique her interest, or even let her know what the subject might be about. But yes, it is big news.
She will indeed be very curious. And possibly envious. I know she's wanted nothing more than to dream.
Thank you again, truly, for everything.
You have given me more than I could ever express. I assure you, the gratitude is well received and highly mutual. His eyes just almost seem silver in how blue they are. His face is sharp behind the black hair, and you can just feel the intensity of his words. He does not say them lightly to you.
Yes.
He just takes a light bow. And he will leave you guys. As the day will slowly turn to night, Skad and Ellie meander and go. Skad seems to be talking in hushed whispers and working out a plan, going over things with Ellie, it seems this teeming undercity deep underneath Monogravan, hidden away. Cyratha's words echo in your mind, Zuzu, of a place she needed to show you. She believed mattered.
I'm so sorry, but could we
Oh.
do a quick bathroom break?
Yes, I was about to say, we can let's do a bathroom break. Yes, potty
It's like,
time.
not the ladder!
No, this is perfect. This is perfect timing.
Okay.
Potty break.
Bye.
full circle. It's so soft. It's warm. I love the bat wing. I'm a big fan of those. So, they're all great investments. Yeah, no. I was like, special face. Hi, dear Elizabeth.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh, I love the fireplace.
Oh yeah, the fireplace is great. I got myself a whiskey.
Oh, yes.
Amen. Whenever you're down or you're feeling it, I know the weeks have been crazy, but if you're looking for respite, you have time for another movie night whenever you are.
Fuck yeah, I do. That was fucking amazing.
Oh, do you want to keep riding the Twilight train or do you want something else? I'm very open to either.
Honestly, I would be so down to do the Twilight train.
Let's choo-choo all aboard. I'm very down. I haven't sat down. Huh?
New moon. Whoop, whoop.
I know. Woo! Fucking like, honestly, the best soundtrack is New Moon.
Dude, I've been hitting that this week so hard.
Yeah.
Just tapping on that New Moon.
Oh, it's great. It's and the weather here has just been nothing but doom and gloom, and it's been fantastic. Oh, perfect. And I haven't sat down and watched them all the way through, like one after another to another in a very long time, so I'm very excited about that.
Me too. It's been a long time since I've done them all.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely after a game, I want to tell you too that I have been reading Court of Thorns. And
Okay.
I got to chapter 22.
Uh-huh.
And again, I'm sitting there like, it's getting better, but she's still a dumb hoe, and I want Eagle Fae to win. Like, I'm sitting there like, it's getting better, but still, room for. We still got a long ways to go.
Yep.
But I see swirls of orbs of light in this black pit of Duke in front of us, so I'm working on it.
Okay. I see it.
I think there's a certain chapter that at the very least I'm like, okay, Elizabeth will like this moment. There's a moment I'm like, Elizabeth will like this a lot.
I was planning on reading a little bit before bed, so
perfect.
We'll see.
Yeah. And I think you'll know exactly the moment I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh. There is a character in there that reminds me of Aidan a bit, if Aidan was like evil.
Ooh. I like.
So I was like, oh, okay. I think she'll like that.
Is it more palatable as you've gone on?
Yes, it's getting. Now, I want to make it very clear. I am not like come to Jesus converted by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still on the other side of the football field, but I'm slowly walking forward. I could see the goalpost. It is still quite far, but at least we're walking in the right direction, so it is getting better. But I'm sitting there like, I am still bitter and angry. It's not gonna wash away that ash taste in my mouth of how long it took to get even here. You know what I mean? I'm like, it feels like too little, too late. But I'm gonna push through this because I know it gets better. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so just letting you know for what it's fucking worth.
Thank God. Okay, I'll keep pushing.
Yeah, it's I could see what they're trying to do. I'm like, okay, god damn it, okay. It'd be so much better if the main character wasn't just obstinate and dumb, but whatever. Bonkers, anyways. Zuzu, have you returned?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Gloria.
Mm-mm-mm. The night is quiet. Skad and Ellie have kind of moved to an alcoved area. There's many beds around. They kind of seem to almost have fallen asleep in the midst of their planning nearby. Azaezel, you may take upon your meditation, take upon your ritual that you do. Now your body healed enough to where you can resume your rights if you'd like.
Yes. So, do I take off one more point of exhaustion?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Yes, you may. You certainly may.
Woo!
Like, woo, we're on the way, buddy! Aidan had also offered, again, kind of in passing, and I think it was kind of unspoken as well, but very clear that, again, you have allies in Emerson. Emerson is, a home away from home you can consider. And support will be offered for your travels if you need it when you are heading east. But more of those details will come. Zuzu, as you lay asleep, it's well into the night. It is not early in the night. You don't hear her in your head, but you are used to this kind of magic. You are used to the feeling of a presence of an elf pulling from you, pulling you, it seems, through the cycle itself. You can feel how her magic feels in your body, like a wave, a weave wrapping around you, a fog, a mist, stemming from the air, the earth. But it is warm. She feels like the sunlit dawn. And every body, part of your senses, everything about this, it's like you can smell it, you can feel it. All of your senses in alignment with her as it wakes you. All you hear is the crackling of the fireplace, the hearth that the night gives in the House of Healing for your room. But like a thread, you feel pulled.
My love. Zuzu sits up at the edge of the bed.
Out of curiosity, how many hours have gone by?
Several. It is not, it's probably like 1 in the morning.
So, like, at least 4 hours since we started.
Yeah, so you've gotten your short, like,
Uh,
you can be awake right now if you want to, like in your meditative state.
Yep.
Yeah, you can hear this and take this in if you would like.
Mm-hmm. Azazel kind of creeps out from the shadows, kind of in front of Zuzu. Are you okay?
Well, yes, I'm very much so. Just how everything hit me at once. Scent. Just the energy, just warmth.
Azazel's like sniffing the air, like trying to attune to what Zuzu's saying.
Everything from the short breeze that comes through this room to scent in the air.
What scent? I don't smell anything different than usual.
Her scent. Until yesterday, I believe earlier in the morning, I was to believe that my wife had been, well, passed, or died. The letter was, perhaps I presumed. But speaking to an old friend, you know her, you've seen her. She speaks of seeing her. Along with the ancient elves that fall into a deep slumber. That is the reason why my wife never came back home.
Did you dream about her?
No, but I feel her. Almost like if me knowing that she's alive. I just feel her presence even now. I thought I was back home. I smelled her hair. I felt her heart. And her touch. No, she is alive, but she is in a deep slumber.
As you say that, Zuzu, you feel the amulet your wife gave you seem to heat up. Not painfully. We haven't felt it grow warm before. When you speak of her in the dreaming.
There is something else. And Zuzu immediately puts on his shoes and
Where are you going?
him, an old friend, had asked me to meet her. It has something relevant to my mother and father. She said she would take me
Do you want company?
Always. I don't like being alone.
Azaezel just gives a gentle smile to Zuzu. Starts gathering their things.
Oh, you're moving better.
Yes, I was finally able to rest.
Sorry.
What?
No, I love that. Like where it's like, is this everyone's been poking and prodding you for
Yeah.
a while? That just made me giggle. I'm sorry.
It's good.
Oh shit. Sorry, carry on. So true though. Damn, Elle's poking me all the time. Fucking leave me alone. Let me feel. Ah! With the extension of the invitation, Azaezel, you feel for a moment what Zuzu was speaking of, or at least what you think he was speaking of. The extension of gratitude, the invitation. Whatever it was he was describing seems to, like a breeze, if you could see the trailing of a breeze. It grazes past you too, like an arm extended. You know who this pull is from. You've felt her presence before. It is Cyratha pulling Zuzu, and now by extension of his invitation, pulling you.
And Cyratha is
The, let's see, I'll get...
2 elf lovers.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it.
Oh my god.
Did I miss something?
I just hit, show to players, the, pictures.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got it. The chica. Okay, cool.
Yes, the chica, it's a
The
girl.
chica, yeah.
You feel her presence. When you've been around either of them for, it was like the sun and the moon, he gave more of a silver, staunch, stoic coolness in his presence. And then for her, it was a warmth, like this, about like the morning, not midsummer's day. It was faint and gentle. But you feel what it was speaking of.
Azaezel lets out a sigh, like, and then under his breath just kind of says, elves.
Oh yes, elves. Oh, you sent it too.
Yeah. I can.
Can you at least try to hide your disgust on your face?
Azaezel, like, tries to, like, stretch their face.
This is my happy face. Oh, fuck. Can you at least try? I just imagine like Toothless's face when he's trying to like smile and he's just like this pain, like.
Talk about it. I was thinking Fire Marshal Bill with Jim Carrey.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, that's it.
500%, yes. For sure. I see it.
Someday you're going to meet my wife. She is an elf as well.
The like aha moment is clicking for Azaezel. And then they turn into the like toothless smile. Like I can't wait to meet her.
Oh, mother, never change.
I want a shirt that says that.
Oh
my, never change.
Oh my, never change.
You may follow Zuzu, but you honestly needn't to exactly. You both feel that pull. It is, again, a warm, affectionate tug. Zuzu, you can even see the magic in the air of her pull. Your vision of the cycle is, well, there, in a way it never has been. It is so beautiful and unusual. You've seen it when you harness it. You've seen it when you grip it into your control and manipulate it in the ways you were taught as a wizard. But this is different. You see its natural essence and form. It is faint, but it is present, like a wisp.
Zuzu walks with grace. You can tell his hand is moving almost like he's touching it through the air as he follows it. His eyes almost look watery as he almost seems to tear up. It's like almost like he's seeing the world for the first time.
You move through the city. It is quiet. It's in the middle of the night. There are not many people in the streets. It is, after all, very deep into the night. Azaezel, your eyes adjust quickly to the darkness. It almost need not adjusting. It is your natural state.
Vision.
And in an indescribable way, your senses almost appear heightened. You can hear far beyond what you usually do, see beyond what you usually do, following this path of the cycle in the dark. In the dark, it might as well be day to you. You hear the scurryings of rats below you. You hear the sounds of crows in the far distance. If you choose to hone in on certain senses, you can even hear the breathing of passerbys. The cycle impacts you too, but in ways you've not experienced before. Not here. You are a part of the night here, a part of the shadows and the dark. You're home away from home. You've not felt the cycle down below. It doesn't exist there. But here, it teems and brims with life, connects all things. And by extension of your invitation, now even you. And its manifestation in you is wondrous.
Hey, Susan.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel more?
I didn't want to say anything, but yes.
Are we under a spell or something?
Not from the... Not that if so, it's not a spell that I'd recognize. I'm starting to see threads. Small. Just lingering magic of the cycle. Was there something similar to you as well?
It's more like I can hear and feel everything. Like that one guy 3 doors down snoring in his bed, and there's a rat about a couple of feet below us. And then there was, yeah, probably a couple miles away, I'm hearing a dog bark.
Oh.
You,
I do not. Perhaps the lady is blessing you?
I don't know, but I'm definitely different.
I believe we might have hit a critical moment.
In what?
The hard choice we had to make.
Like, you can tell even in the dark, Azazel just got like 2 shades paler.
Trying to imagine that.
But truly, I mean, even I thought of them helping and aiding Skad and Ellie. But I believe that was possibly a test. A critical moment. A hard choice.
I think you're right. I could tell Ellie wanted me to follow her. Go with her. And I chose my queen.
If she
Critic.
asked you, would you have gone?
Ellie, if Ellie had asked me,
Mm-hmm.
no. No, I wouldn't have. When I saw her standing next to Scott, I realized in that moment, both of them that I don't think they could have handled what we're going to have to do. Takes a degree of selflessness that I didn't see in either of them.
I had hoped that the path that we're on, if we continued it together, would change that.
And then the critical moment.
Yes. For what we're doing, we have to be something more than what we are.
Yes. When I was little, my brother told me only when we are nothing can we be everything.
Do you know what you would say to him if you were to see him?
My brother? I wouldn't say anything. I would kill him as fast as I could. He's not my brother anymore.
So there isn't a chance to save him.
There's nothing to be saved. My brother is beyond death. That is the fate most of us fear, but we dare not speak it. We pray at the last moment the Raven Queen dismembers us or takes us from our body rather than becoming a puppet to somebody else. I think I've wished for years he had just died. But now I know for certain.
There has to be a reason why we saw what we saw in there. Why he spoke to us.
I'm still meditating on that myself.
If only the realm could see what I see this night. Yeah, Zuzu looks up. And it looks like he looks at the stars, like as if he's never seen the stars before.
Azaezel follows Zuzu's gaze and slowly looks up too.
And you both see something wondrous. You see northern lights, or at least what they appear to be like northern lights. A thread not too dissimilar from Zuzu's, but because the night sky is high, Azaezel, you see this in a whole different form. A being of the night, being able to penetrate through the darkness. The Zuzu, much like a thread in front of you, in waves and movements. Sonorous mist almost, looking up, almost a mirror image, but with flickers of color. It is faint. But you see the connecting pieces, above and below you, in front of you. They move in similar waves. Again, faint, but present.
Dude, when I was describing, I was literally thinking the Northern Lights too. When you
Like a whisper of the Northern Lights. Azaezel, you see, I mean, you can't possibly know between the two of you, but Azaezel, you see outright color. You see the depth of field in many ways. It doesn't give off light. I want to make that very clear. It's bizarre. There is color. It is there, but it's not like it's
Like an
providing
oil
light.
slick?
Kind of.
Like, you know, when it has that, like, iridescent shimmer, that rainbow on top of it?
Yes, exactly. Where it's like, it's not that it's providing light, like, oh, now you can see well. It's more just like you look up and you go, whoa, if I didn't look up, like, it's not changing the lighting what you're able to see. It's more you're looking up and, like you said, like an oil. Exactly. Yeah. Now I'm seeing what you're saying. An oil slick where it's like almost shimmering.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
the realm's magic. The cycle. The thing that flows through everything. The thing that's been here before the gods.
Wow.
Indeed. Yes. Kind of like Zuzu puts his hand around Azaezel.
Mm-hmm.
He's just both of them looking up.
Like, yeah, take it in.
Again,
Is it?
yeah.
Oh, what?
For Zuzu, I mean, he feels like, again, like he said to the necromancer, like the cycle is, the gods are accepting us because he feels like the cycle is accepting him.
Mm-hmm. Azazel just stands there in awe. You know, I had no idea that it was an actual thing. I thought it was just one of your cookie things you say.
Really? You thought I just made it up?
Well, I thought you believed in it, but I didn't think it was like this. And Azazel kind of gestures up to the sky.
I heard of stories and how things feel, but I never saw it. Small glimpses of it as I cast magic, yes, but this is something else. Truly a gift. everyone had this sight.
It would change things.
I'm sure the gods could see it. And to think that it's in trouble. Who knows what it might look like when it's repaired?
Mm.
Gods are not asking us for help. Cycles pleading for us to see it, to help it. We are the ones to prepare it. Huh? And he starts just muttering random gibberish. Seems.
Azaezel just slowly, without turning their head, just like side eyes, kind of like peeking down at the side of, and then just quietly looks right back up, like not interrupting.
The many theories going on in his head, numbers flying through his mind.
Azazel, as you're looking up and sharing this moment with Zuzu, you feel this almost like a dry swallow. And as a man walks by, you can hear his heartbeat. You can smell the sweat on his skin. You can't explain it, but you're hungry. You look over, make eye contact with him. He just walks by. The connection is so strong with the night in a way you've never felt before. It is strange. You're hungry. But as soon as the thought crosses your mind, it seems to vanish. After his heartbeat, his skin seems to move past you, and his scent dissipates into the air.
Is this also making you hungry, or is it just me?
I was going to say horny, but no, not hungry.
Oh.
You said hungry?
Yeah. I don't really get hungry up here, but for a split second, I think I thought about tasting someone.
Someone?
Well, yeah, like that guy that walked by. Just, well, you know what? Never mind.
Should we go to a tavern? I'm sure something's open.
Probably better not.
Yeah, the idea of food is like disgusting. It was a different kind of hunger. It's hard to place. It wasn't food.
Oh, God.
Maybe we should, keep following the path, or
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There might be food there as well, so.
Oh,
Yes.
you really can't hear those dogs?
No.
Azazel kind of has a look of, damn it, like,
Like, are you fucking with me though? Like really? You can't. It's like this is just in my head. It's just echoing. It's just so loud. Yeah, the senses heightened are overwhelming, but like a newborn child, in a sea of night. And Zuzu, a newborn individual, able to connect and see the cycle in more ways than you've ever been able to before. And you know it's not the grandness to which is possible. You know it's a fragment. But it is more than you've seen. It's tangible almost. And this path, Cyratha's pull, leads you to the edge of town.
Which part?
Sorry, I'm moving her.
Oh.
Coming out and through, you know the forest in which it's leading. It is near the God Mound, they call it. The forest edge is not far. It is an ancient place. You're familiar with it as far as it being an old druid. It could be a sanctuary, ceremonial spot, burial ground, all of the above. It is sacred space. Gale is mostly outside of study or spiritual reverence. Don't really come out here. It is cold here. And Azaezel, you feel something, an ancientness you have not felt in a long time. It is the same level of a haunting, but with not as much severity. Almost like you can tell the age is similar. A forest you journeyed a long time ago. With a certain accursed people. A forsaken people. It holds an air of familiarity in such a sense. This place has been here as long as they. It is haunting. It is quiet. And there is a light. A light in the aura of a person, standing near the forest edge, where this pull seems to have brought you. Hooded and nearly glowing, especially in the dark.
My lady. Zuzu pulls down his hood.
She keeps her hood up but tilts her head down. And she approaches both of you. The cycle is teeming around her. Azaezel, you can smell her. She smells, for the first time, delicious. The hunger in you is strong, a hunger you can't place. And as it does appear, it's gone. It's a moment. As if the thought was fought away by something outside of yourself.
Like the cycle of magic?
Who knows?
Azaezel just swallows, kind of gently leans back just a little bit. But does not seem as disgusted by her.
It's strange. Up until this moment, being around her or her kind, you felt a disgust. Around her, for a moment, a desire to consume. But it was very fleeting. And as it came, it went, again, as if battled away from you. I am so very glad you came and brought company. I was hoping you would join us. And she looks at Azaezel closely, but affectionately.
How could I not come? Curious. Why, what presence has brought me here?
You see a very small fracture of a forlorn in her face. Your family were dear to my people. To me. They shared much with me. There are things left unspoken, things left unsaid. Things I'd know they'd want you to see. Whether spoken to me or not, I could feel it. Much like how you could feel me now, bringing you here. When one connects, less is required to be said. I will bring you where I can. The rest is up to you. Both of you. For I believe you may have insight in a way none of us could provide. And she looks at Azaezel when she says this. A child of death itself. A gift. And in your head, both your heads, you hear her say, "Follow me." As you move through the forest, again, there's a dark dreariness to it. Perhaps it is the night, or the nature of your visit. It's hard to say. Azaezel, you hear Cyratha's voice in your head. You walk as if you know these words, yet you've never stepped foot here.
They remind me of a place.
A place of home.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
My brain is going to the Turakai, like that whole
Yes.
place. Am I on the same track? Okay, they got.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are
okay.
on the same track as me, 100%. You got
Okay,
it.
okay, okay, okay.
Nailed it.
What did she say?
She's asking, like, probing, like, a place of home, like a place you're familiar with from home, question mark.
No, not my home.
Show me.
Azaezel, like raises an eyebrow and kind of like head kind of cocks back. What do you mean, show you?
Open your mind to the memory, and I will see it.
Be careful. You know what happened last time.
I don't know if this is a good idea. We're not quite myself tonight.
Very well. You can feel the curiosity in her tone, feel her emotions as she connects with you. She's curious, cautious, but accepts what you say.
Zuzu can be seen passing by some of the trees. His hand sort of just gently touches them. Hello, friend. Oh, what has happened to you all? We are merely passing through, and we mean you no harm.
You genuinely feel an ease at your words. You are so connected in a way you've never felt before. But again, a whisper. Enough. You've been to these woods with your father a long time ago. As children. Or as a child. In the night, they look so different. As if they're sleeping. You move through for some time. Nature seeming to move with you slightly. And after a moment of walking, after some time, Cyratha pauses. And there seems to be an opening ahead of you. A difference in the formation of the trees. And she says in both your heads, "This is as far as I may go. This is your journey. A path laid out by them for you. And I fear my presence may only hinder. Know your mother and father by the trees of their birthright. And remember this." And she steps in front of both of you, an intent in her eyes. Trees are also living beings. Yes. Much like hearing of a heartbeat. Focus and isolate that rhythm. It's music. And align it with your own. Align its heart and breathing to your own. And within this connection, you are able to become one. Only then may you pass through.
Yeah, she turns to see Zuzu. He's already hugging a tree. A few things he whispers, just, I ask you to pass it along. It is true, you're all connected. And I give you this hug to pass it along. I know how chatty you're going to be. Kind of like, let's go to the tree.
Unmistakably in that hug, you hear a heartbeat. Not like a human heartbeat, but a drum. And she kind of gestures for you to enter the grove in front of them. You're in front of her.
Yeah. Take a step forward. Looks behind him. Thank you, my lady. What a gift.
Tilts her head down at you. A white flame in the dark. Azaezel, do you follow?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Moving forward, it doesn't seem like a... Zuzu doesn't seem like a proper grove, like how elves carve and use nature and pandemonium of everything. It seems more like a clearing. It could be natural. But you know it is not, in some ways, unknown to you, simply because Cyratha brought you here and told you so. But there is something also unmistakable with your sight. Not only with your sight, but with the knowledge you possess of your parents' tree's birthright. You see two trees that seem to be ever so slightly out of place. They don't and aren't of the same heritage or form of those around you, not uniform, almost twisting into one another. Any onlooker would probably pay no heed. There are many anomalies in nature, things that don't seem to fit, but are perfect. But you know the difference because the trees twisting into one another are a rowan tree and an elder tree, the tree of your mother and your father. Twisting and intertwining. Still growing, it would seem. And magic clearly emanating from them. You feel it too, Azaezel.
Mm.
And Zuzu will drop to his knees. His right hand kind of like feeling for the root of his mother, and his left feeling the root of his father.
Roll me an Arcana. With advantage.
And my head flies off.
Nice. With your connection to the cycle as it is, reaching down below, you feel there is way more than what appears in front of you. You feel the roots go so deep. You feel there's something hidden here. Hidden to the naked eye. A passage. An opening. Something hidden from the world. Something created by your mother and your father.
You said an opening?
Mm-hmm. Like as if like a kind of like how when you look at an iceberg, you know, it's like you got the vision of something that's clearly below. You got this vision of wow, you can feeling the roots of the tree of your mother and father. You feel that there's clearly more hidden away, an entryway, a doorway, a space hidden away from the world created by your mother and father. And the roots leading to the center of it, where the two trees connect and first make their initial twist at their trunk.
His hand just runs alongside it.
As you get closer, you almost feel a pulse, a heartbeat quickening as you get closer to the tree's trunks.
He's just gonna embrace it. He's literally a tree hugger, so.
Azaezel, as you witness this, you feel an intense pull of magic, but you can't place it. Roll me an Arcana as well.
Ooh. Oh,
Very nice.
not bad.
No, not bad at all. You can see the trail, or feel it, I should say, of what it doesn't seem like Zuzu's just following something aimlessly. You can see what he's following.
Mm.
It is ancient and connected, yet new. Newly formed of the ancient. You're not sure what it is. You can clearly see the path that Zuzu's following. And you are knowing of the passage, knowing of passing from one space to another. You've done it many times because you've had to. You feel an opening. Different from the fold in which you were birthed from to get here. But a rift nonetheless. It is not unnatural, but yet not natural all the same. And you can sense it and where it is. And Zeus is on the right path to finding it.
Azazel's just gonna follow Zuzu. Like observing, taking it all in, but letting Zuzu guide the way.
Speak to me.
Roll me a nature check. With advantage. Leaning in after hearing the heartbeat, following the roots. You can feel your parents in these trees. You cannot explain it. You heard the heartbeat. Now you can feel the breathing. And you work to align your breathing and your heart with its own. And Azaezel, what you witness Azaezel, you witness Zuzu seeming to take a breath and within a heartbeat, fall in. The trees almost seeming to swallow him.
Is Azazel gonna go in right after Zuzu, if they can?
Mm-hmm. The way is open. And you fall in after him too.
Cool.
How you fall and where you do is hard to say. Much like a heartbeat or a breath, it seems almost instant, but your body knows otherwise. Azaezel, you see Zuzu having almost seeming to like fall yet walk in at the same time. The air is musty. You see the walls livened with different books. Shelves. It is impossible for this to exist underneath the earth, yet it does. It teems with forgotten life. Yet it sustains. Candles still lit. Earth still brimming. There are several layers to this place, where the two trees seem to join underneath the earth, impossibly large compared to their outers. At its center, there's a large, almost seeming table. But looking closer, you see something else. A book. Churning with the most magic that you can see. And looking closer, Azaezel, immediately you're hit with the smell of death. Zuzu, as you approach, you see what Azaezel smells. Your mother and father wrapped in each other's embrace. The book at its center. A letter seeming tucked away at its surface with your name on it. Nystrom. Your last name and your heritage. Their bodies seeming fresh yet decomposing. There is magic teeming from their essence.
somehow surpassed them when it came to magic. Looking around, I'm not even close. I reach for the letter.
Would you like to read it out loud or me? It is in your mother's handwriting. Do you read it out loud, or do you read it to yourself so that Azaezel may hear?
I'll read it out loud so that everyone can listen.
Our dearest son, so much that is wished to be said, and the longing to say it to you, all of it. But time for myself and your father is short, and our work is not yet done. Not nearly. If you're reading this, then it is likely one of our trusted elven allies have led you to us, and we're deeply grateful. Please tell them as such. Know firstly, son, how immeasurably proud your father and I are of you, and have always been. No matter where our work took us, or wherever your adventures led you, you were, and always will be our greatest love, our greatest achievement, our greatest adventure, and our greatest mark to be left upon this world. And the work we have done, the magic in which we have relentlessly pursued, has in turn ravaged us. Our bodies, but not our minds, nor our hearts. Know that we write this final letter to you with our hearts complete and full. It is our hope and wish that you continue the work in which we started, that you may see it through from where we left it. Your father and I knew in our discoveries we would likely not live to witness the fruit born of our labors, our sacrifices. But know that mattered not to us, because we both knew one day our beloved son would return to us. You are so like your father, chasing and brimming with the love for another, seeing life and majesty in all things beautiful. That innate awe and wonder in all that surrounds. It is through him and that very nature that we were able to discover what we have and dare to dream its existence. Where the forever deemed impossible may yet be possible for our kind on this continent, for all of Gaeldom. A connection to the cycle is within our grasp. Not wielders or conduits, but of it. However, variables beyond us must be in place, it would seem, or rectified. This is as far as our research carried us, before the price of pursuit became too great. Take this gift from us. This grimoire is the consolidation and culmination of all our efforts and findings. If not to continue, then to share with one or those you trust completely and utterly. There are those out there, though, even though the good hearts and best intentions, be it so, could incidentally bring possible chaos and ruin with this knowledge. It is not to be shared fully until it is complete, and why this grove exists at all. It is why our bodies are buried here and nowhere else. This grove must not be found, and once the book is removed, will be destroyed. We use the last of our magic for the sake of this. For the sake of you. We love you. And we will see you again within the eternal weave of the cycle of God's willing and love willing. All our love, Mother and Father.
I do apologize for not coming sooner. To our grandparents, I have a boy. And he says this as he walks around, his hands sort of just touching everything. And he's speaking to them as if, he's just chatting. He goes over this story of how he met his wife. The love they shared. And Zuzu goes from laughter to crying to just all sorts of emotions.
Azaezel will just come up and put a hand on Zuzu's shoulder.
They knew. They knew. They had faith I would find them again.
And you did.
I have to complete what they left me.
You take the book.
You said if I take it, this all goes away, right?
More so that when you take it, the grove must be destroyed. When you take it, that will solidify it. The book will not be destroyed, but the grove will be destroyed, more or less. It's the final piece.
But then they will be destroyed, right?
Oh, they're already dead. They're using their last bit of magic to keep this grove alive long enough for you to take their work.
I can't believe this place is cool. I don't want to destroy it.
How'd you feel, man?
Ah, shit.
Yeah, shit. It truly is your choice. You'll have to take the book if you want to continue their work as their dying wish, or you can leave it. It's up to you.
Yeah, he'll walk around again. Just take everything in.
You see a life, a whole life here. Clearly, you've seen your mother's room of study or university. You've seen those places and little things she left behind, but this was her home. This was your father's home, away from home. It's very clear. They made this to fuel their true work. It is clear in every etch, every board, every piece. It is not they took from nature, but they learned the language in which for nature to open itself to them, to provide this for them. They found a way. And they paid the price. But they are in every facet of this space, even though they're long gone.
Now I have something to complete to give to your grandchild. Yeah, he'll pick the book.
Let me know if you can see it okay, and its properties.
Dang.
This leathered grimoire has intricate druidic and elvish carvings with arcane symbols and harmony brimming from it. The grimoire has the following effects and contains the following spells. The spells within, even though they are druid spells, count as wizard spells to you. They use your spellcasting modifier of intellect. It functions as a spellbook for you. You have a +1 to spell save DC. You now have Speak with Animals, Pass Without a Trace, Animal Messenger, Moonbeam, Speak with Plants, and when you get there with levels, Guardian of Nature and Wrath of Nature.
Oh
You can't control those yet, but those are in there for when you're ready. While you're holding the book can be used as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. The book has 3 charges, and it regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. You can use the charges in the following ways while holding it. You can study the book for a minute and expend a charge to replace one of your prepared wizard spells with a different spell in the book. They must be within the druid spell list. When you cast a druid spell, you can expend a charge to impose disadvantage on the first saving throw a target makes against your spell. That is a druid spell.
Ching!
Yeah, just tears running down his face. He's holding the book. He's like on his knees, just holding the book close to the chest, leaned into it.
You can feel the finality, Azaezel, the breath of the final death when he removes the book. There's no change in the atmosphere exactly. It's not like this whole place is going to come crumbling on you. No, not at all, not at all. But more so, Azaezel, you're so in tune with this space. You're so in tune with this kind of exchange with death. You can see the connection, even in death, the life that they fuel in this place. You can hear and feel the final breath. Final rest. A sword in the stone, pulling from its center, their son pulling the book from them, as it was meant to be. Flash in memory in your mind of your own mother and her sacrifice. There is love here, even in death.
Azazel just takes it all in with a distinct reverence. And they just look at Zuzu, but they say nothing.
Only through love they were able to perform something like this.
You can feel it. It's everywhere.
Yes, it's everywhere. I miss you so much.
Azazel will offer to hold Zuzu's hand.
Yeah, he buries his face into your chest.
Azazel just gives you a hug, just holds you in. They're bony and they're cold. Like, there's no gush to them, but they're doing their
Yeah.
best.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. Azazel, when you are able to look at Zuzu holding the book, you notice something different about him. He looks younger.
Okay, like how younger?
Noticeably.
Like,
60 years old.
Like, if he's 69 years old, he looks like he's maybe 50.
oh, okay. So we're having an Aragorn moment up in here?
A little bit. Like,
Okay.
it's something where you're like, wait.
Azazel kind of just looks shocked, for like, just kind of stunned. And then they just start kind of like stretching Zuzu's face around, like kind of mushing it around. Do you feel okay?
I have a wave of emotions going through me. I'm a little bit happy, sad,
No,
overwhelmed.
no, you don't. You don't look right.
Oh my god. Why I can't die now? I need to finish this book. What do you mean I don't look okay?
It's fine. You should look at yourself. I don't know what's going on, but your face is not your face.
There's a mirror here if you want to use it.
Zazel will grab the mirror and kind of hold it up to Zuzu.
You do look noticeably younger. It's not drastic, but enough to be surprising.
Could it be a book or something?
Yeah, he looks at the book.
The book is teeming with magic. A magic you've not seen. It is connected to your parents.
Do we have the artifact?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have Ellie has the I think Ellie has the bag of holding with it in it.
He's got a theory.
Which artifact?
The one that we're supposed to get the gods to bless. You know, like
Oh.
A flame of the Erlin, yeah.
A sentimental moment, but now my brain is starting to work and cogwheels are starting to turn. How is this possible?
You seem different.
Do I only look different or do I feel different?
You feel different too. Ever since you grabbed the book, held it, more air fills your lungs. Strength sinews in a way that you have not felt in some time in your body.
Yes. I feel amazing. I feel younger. We have to go back.
Okay.
You hear Cyratha's voice in both your heads. Someone approaches. They know not of my presence, but they know of yours.
Thank you, Mother, Father. I will finish your work. I give you my word. And when all this is done, I will bring my wife here and my son.
We should probably go.
Yes. He takes one last look. Book in hand, he'll, staff in the other, he'll walk forward.
You may leave the same way you came, connected with the space as equally. You can feel the final breath of the whole space this time. Almost a thank you, a whisper of rest and finality. Your parents still very much with you through this book, your wife within your amulet, and Azaezel, you can feel the chapter close. The natural transference of life, the passage of death from one to another. The art of your queen. The air is cold outside comparatively, as even though you can feel and hear the sounds of graceful destruction behind you, the magic that was keeping this place afloat, doing as it was bid to do, and erase itself. In the cool night air outside, you do feel a presence. They don't try to be stealthy. Again, as Cyratha had said in your minds, they're aware of your presence. As if they were waiting for you. Hooded. And in wait. He is tall along the trees. I will take a couple seconds. I really need to pee.
Go pee.
We'll pause right here. I'm gonna take a couple minutes. 5-minute break.
Woo-hoo. Oh my god. That's like that book, holy shit.
Yeah, it's wild.
I'm like, dang. So like, how old is Zuzu actually?
69.
Okay. Like, is this dude like actually like a million years old or something?
I have this theory. I don't know if it's gonna work,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like if I hold a relic, I might get younger with the top of the book. And I could
Oh.
Benjamin Button this with a million lives. That's just a theory. Like it has to take like very powerful magical items or something to do this.
Fucking Benjamin Button this character. Like, you accidentally hold one that's like really fucking powerful and you become 5 years old and we're like, oh no, take it back.
Hold on, balance it out. Take one away from me.
You're not allowed to hold two at the same time. So like, Zuzu's parents have been dead for a while then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I've also been like, man, is this like, what was that? There was like some awful early 2000s movie about magic where if you used it, you aged really, really fast. So there's like a dude in his 20s, but he looks like he's in his 60s. I also had that theory for Zuzu in the beginning when we first met your character. I was like, is this fool really like just 25? Like,
But he's picking. Yeah, I can see that.
So you got work tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fine.
Why should I do something?
I don't know, you could always play telephone with that ghost you got.
Oh no.
Oh God, I just heard that. Oh no. God.
Do you get weekends off now, or is it Monday through or?
I have Wednesdays and Sundays off again.
That's
Yeah.
what
This is
trash.
stupid. Yeah, seriously, it's bullshit. This great route lasted.
2 consecutive days. You need 2 consecutive days off.
I know.
This should be a bare minimum, man. All right. Thank you for your patience. Are we all good?
Mm-hmm.
Coming back out. Again, you see the cloaked figure. You recognize him. He's not trying to necessarily hide. Again, as if laying in wait. He stares at you guys as you kind of seem to emerge from the now collapsing grove. But it doesn't make sound, it doesn't disturb the outer world. But the magical change is very clear, and he seems to pick up on it. He stands there, silent, almost a specter, as it starts to rain. He stares at you from under his cowl.
Good evening.
He seems to look past you. Back at the entrance in which you came. Now anybody who is in tune with any magic knows is permanently closed. His eyes seem so heavy and full of something as he speaks to you. He seems to move with the rain around the clearing. Every day I have walked these woods since your mother's death. A part of me hoping and wishing she'd impossibly appear from the grove she kept from me. As I'd see her do countless times before. But this time, as his eyes move to you, Zuzu, it's not the woman I love, but her son that emerges. You see his frame kind of shift. I want you to know I respected your father. A good man. A wise man. An intellect. But above all, a man who loved your mother. Who loved her in a way it seems that I could not. Whatever way in which she needed, that eluded me for so long. He gave her what she deserved in this life. And for that I'm grateful. There's a pause as the rain continues. The air so heavy. But he'll continue. He steps kind of forward towards both of you. But all the respect and gratitude in the world was not enough to still my love and desire for her. And her honor only made me want her all the more. Love her all the more. I admit my weakness in that. Azaezel, when he speaks of this, you can feel that pang of hunger again. Not towards the Ardrou. Not towards him, but it's like you're connecting from his desire. You're connecting for a fraction of a moment to that hunger. That desire. But just as it came, as if something beat it away, it leaves you. And he continues.
Why are you
Unless you...
Why are you telling me this?
Perhaps I needed my own closure. Perhaps I am selfish. Perhaps I am... greedy. As he looks down at the forest floor. I have been searching for this grove for so long. There's nothing I would not have done for her, and I believe that is why she kept her true research from me even in death. We shared a heart once before your father. She knew my heart better than anyone. And that is probably why she kept this from me and chose your father over me. She was and will always be a wise woman. But the pain of her loss does not lessen. And in another life you may have been my son. And I know I will never love another in such a way in this life. And I've ever mourned each day since Ava's departure. That's the first time you've heard your mother's name evoked before in a long time. And he evoked it in front of you. He knew her deeply. You feel the pain, the desire of connection, the loss, the wish that you were his son. And Azaezel, you feel the greed. You feel the innate desire brimming in him. But he fought hard to stay back. But that hunger never left. But his love was for her was greater than his desire for her. What was in there? What was in her heart? Will I ever get to know? It's gone now, much like her. All that remains of her is you, as he looks at Zuzu. Will you share it with me? Will you offer me that peace?
Inside was both of them, my father and my mother, their life together, the magic they found together, the love they had. It has always been the key component to any magical spell. It is love.
I loved her. There's nothing I wouldn't have given her. She could have asked me for anything and it would have been hers. Azaezel, you feel there is truth in his words, but you feel the hunger. You feel the desire. There is more to this than even he may realize.
Mm.
I am truly sorry. I do not understand or know why my mother had not chosen you, or have spoken of you. From the time I was born, all I knew was both of them and their love.
Again, a wise woman. There will never be another like her. I knew this. I want you to know I tried to forget of her. Tried to move past it all. I could not see beyond her. She was always just out of reach. Both a mercy and a cruelty. And Azazel, you mirror this the same time he does. It's very subtle, like you're connected by the hunger. You can feel him underneath his, like, in his mouth, lick his lower lip. You mirror this simultaneously.
Mm.
Didn't find happiness after my mother. You didn't find love.
I had dined with a king, a goddess. You cannot forget that. And you hunger for no less thereafter.
You're hungry even now.
Perhaps. A hunger for something that was lost, for something that was never truly mine. What gods did I want it to be? I knew you were coming here meant something. Something beyond my understanding. She was always beyond my understanding. It runs in the family, it would seem.
Yes, their love was quite remarkable.
Something that put even the elves to shame, I'd argue. They mastered an art. How could one not hunger for that? She saw something, understood something, and your father knew the language and could provide. Truly cut from a unique cloth. She kept her work from me. I would know what it was. Will you give me that mercy? I don't doubt. If I just knew. I can perhaps help, even. All I wanted was to help her. All I wanted was to boon. I gave her office, gave her everything she asked. Yet this part of her she would deny me. When all I would have done was prop it up, embrace it, nourish it. I need not her flesh, I wanted her mind. I wanted her spirit. I knew, could taste even, how close she was to the answers we were seeking. Why keep that from me, a man of good heart and sound mind? I could have helped her. I could have done so much. Yet, she will die in the dark. Share it with me, and I will ensure you have every resource at your disposal to ensure its fruition and fullness and completeness.
I do not know what knowledge is contained in this book.
So it is a book.
Not to give it freely.
It is a book. That's what I feel. May I see it? As he extends his hand seeming to dampen in the wet of the rain. Azaezel, you can taste the hunger in the air. It reminds you of something.
I wouldn't give it to him.
It is not mine to give.
Is it not?
Not without fully understanding can I give this knowledge to anyone. It is a burden, yes. A burden and a gift. Under her wishes I cannot. I'm sorry.
Azaezel, roll me an insight check. Your connection to the night, your connection to the hunger, you can feel, you felt his resistance to this hunger himself. You feel almost a cracking in him, a resistance. There's a desire in him to take what he wants, to take what he desires. Damn the consequences. But you feel the goodness of the man prevailing, fighting it. You can almost feel his blood. A connection in a way that almost seems repulsive to you. It reminds you of something. Someone. Something seeking to take over, but he's fighting it. Fighting the desire to kill you both and take what he wants. But he's winning. The wizard is winning. It seems his love is strong enough to fight that ancient power you've been fighting for so long down below. But still holds the hearts of men and mortals up here, in flashes of moments or for lifetimes. Like a well-grooved river, you can see the influence in him that he's stemmed away throughout his life. He has fought this. But he is perilously close. Give me a perception check. Both of you. Azaezel with advantage, but Zuzu with no advantage.
Okay. Perception?
Mm-hmm. Azaezel, you're caught up in the hunger.
Mm-hmm.
It's unmistakable what it is when you see it. Zuzu, you see it, but don't know where it's stemming from. There is a flicker of the nocturne in his eyes, a flicker of night, a flicker of red in his eyes. Before it dissipates. Will you not give me what I seek, what I need? What I've been waiting for so long, and staved from. And what I could boon you with, I could give you the world, as I could give her. The whole of the wizardom and magic of immersion will be at your service and mercy in the battles to come.
I cannot. Not this day. Not till I fully understand what I'm dealing with. This was entrusted to me by my parents. I am sorry.
Roll something really quick.
Cast finger of death?
Don't worry, Azazel's got blight ready.
A gun cocked. You both see him kind of crick his body in a strange way. It feels unnatural. Zuzu, you hear Cyratha's voice in your head say, in a breath, "Oh no. Don't." And Azaezel, you see something familiar, a creak of the body, and then for a flash of a moment you recognize a face cross over his, twisted and hungry. The eyes of Circel in him. His face flashes, but it dissipates. And
Azaezel,
go ahead.
Azazel's gonna hiss Circel's name kind of under their breath, almost like a impulsive growl. Like it's instinctual.
Almost like just his body immediately reacts, his hands go into certain motions as the cycle is pulled in different moments or different areas, and he immediately casts, like just reaction, he casts a mage armor just around him, and the runes flash around his robes and around him.
It's a flicker, it's a moment. As you react, Azazel's hiss, Zuzu's armoring. The Ardra stumbles back. He grips onto a tree nearby, chanting something in the arcane. He is trying to wrangle himself. But he succeeds. Barely. You hear Cyratha's breath of relief. As whatever came over him, he was strong enough to pass it. Azazel, you saw what you saw. You know what this is. The cycle even seemed to warn you of it. In Zuzu, you see a man pained by desire. The eternal battle of desire and love. But love has seemed to win every time, even now. A good man who has tried.
Zuzu is very defensive, seeing that side of him. But the face he gives, I mean, he truly does feel sorry for this individual.
He seems to almost kind of hunch over the tree, regaining himself. Again, this man teems with powerful magic. He is the most powerful magic user in this city by far. You have your mother's strength and wisdom and your father's love. I see now why the gods, whether they choose or not, orient towards you. No, go on.
I have a journey to complete. A task given to me by my family. Once it's complete, I will come to you.
You see him clench his fist on the tree. I fear sometimes not strong enough.
How long has Circe been tempting you?
You speak his name so easily. Is he so clear in your eyes, Dark One?
I know him.
Ever since I laid eyes on Ava, I've known a hunger I cannot place, a desire I could not name, and a voice I could not fully understand. One I could only attempt to shut out in my dreams. I dreamed from a young age.
You dreamed?
I do. I did. When his voices started, Aloria's came to me, loud, cacophonous. Almost seeming to drown him out. Ever since your mother died, I dream little now, if at all. I fear his influence as it grows louder. Without your mother's love, my love for her, I feel silence. He is getting harder to resist. Without her, if anything, it makes it more so. Desiring what you cannot possibly have. Regretting what you did not take. Forgetting the love that prevented you from doing so. That's why I'm so glad you came. I curse and bless your arrival. I fear his influence growing. I must confess I had every reason, every desire to destroy you both, and the means to do so. Just now. But I have chosen against it, fought against it.
I feel that.
But I must speak into being my sin. If Aloria's voice and your mother's will not still me now, perhaps my own will. I speak my own evil into the world. Your companion knows what I mean. As he kind of eyeballs you, you can see the flash of Circe in his eyes. It's not Circe that's governing him, but through Circe's sight, he sees you for what you are.
You are a very strong individual. I pray that you never give in.
And do what you must. Whatever path the gods have laid before you. Follow it. Resist people like me. Fight against those who would tell you otherwise. Give not to temptation, destruction, or loss. Or change. Kind of tilts his head down, almost as if to excuse himself to get away from you guys, unless you want to say something else to him.
I didn't see the circle and all that in him, right?
No. You saw a flash of red in his eyes, vampiric-like almost in nature, but it went away very quickly. Azaezel saw, like, for you, Zuzu was like a flicker of like, what the hell was up with his eyes? And then for Azaezel, though, they not only saw the eyes, saw the face, a flicker, and they know and felt exactly what that was. They're very intimately touched and know what the fuck that is and what that means. And that's why the Ardrau remarked on the flippancy, or the casualness of Azaezel calling out what they saw. He's fully aware, and he's fully aware of what he fights. As he leaves you, he says over his shoulder into the rain and the dark, "When you deem it sown by your judgment, find me. I do wish to help. I wish to honor not only your mother, but our people."
That I swear. And you will be the first to know.
Tell no one of what we spoke of this night. Give me that at least.
Very well.
He seems to disappear into the trees. Very familiar with these woods.
I was feeling his presence. It was quite intense. Moments I thought he was going to attack us.
I think he would have.
I was trying to keep my composure, but my word. The immense amount of pressure I was feeling from him was... What did you see? For a moment I saw red eyes. I'd never seen that look in anyone's eye before. They must look like... It's not love, lust.
It's desire, greed. That man doesn't love your mother. He wanted to consume her, have her all for himself. I could feel his hunger. I could feel him fighting. It's not easy to deny Circe what he wants.
He is a strong man. That I know for sure.
Still, I would not trust him.
Yes, indeed. If my mother did trust him, she would have given him the knowledge. He she had a reason. Either way, thank you for everything.
Of course. We should probably head back.
Yes. Goodbye. You see Zuzu hugs both of the trees, says a few words in there with her book in hand. You just hear him vowing to complete what they started.
You speak your vow. You feel Cyratha's presence seeming to envelop you, stepping into the fold, and the greed of Circe, the war in this man, departing the clearing. We'll call it a session.